Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, because the establishment media is focusing all of their attention on Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, you might not have realized that President Obama is bringing us perilously close to war with Russia. Now, Obama was set to meet with his foreign policy team today to discuss military options in Syria. Now, these options under consideration include direct strikes on Syrian military bases. So Russia has already made it very clear they've pledged to respond militarily to any direct strikes on Syrian forces. And so if the decisions that Barack Obama makes regarding Syria, they could literally spark off World War III. So obviously this is far more important than the Trump tapes and all of these victims who are coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden. But of course, everybody likes those scandalous newspapers on the side of the grocery store aisle. Loves a good scandal. Russia's even telling its citizens to find out where their closest nuclear bunkers are. They had a 2-hour-long broadcast saying, nuclear war is imminent. This was a super apocalyptic broadcast telling viewers there in Moscow, if it should happen one day, every one of you should know where the nearest bomb shelter is. It's best to find out now. Now, who knows why Russia is pumping out this propaganda to its own citizens? I don't trust their government any more than I trust my own government when it comes to these type of things. But it's abundantly clear they are gearing up for some military action. And as we know, a lot of these countries trade heavily in arms, and war is where the money is at. So we don't know really what they're doing behind the scenes, but war is on the horizon. But you would never know that because everyone's focusing on these stories that do not matter, which is why I think it's hilarious that President Obama, in his speeches where he's stumping for Hillary Clinton, is decrying America's wild, wild west on the media landscape. Okay, this is Thursday. He calls America's wild, wild west media environment for allowing conspiracy theorists a broad platform and destroying a common basis for debate. He recalled past days when just 3 television channels delivered fact-based news that most people trusted, also known as propaganda straight from the White House. Obama said democracy requires citizens to be able to sift through lies and distortions. He says we are going to have to rebuild within this wild, wild west of information flow some sort of curating function that people agree to. So they want to control your thoughts. They want to curate what you are able to access. They're not satisfied with the fact that their 3 main propaganda arms aren't really doing a very good job because no one trusts the media. They all know that they're pumping through this propaganda. So then he says there has to be, I think, some sort of way in which we can sort through information that passes some basic truthiness tests, and those that we have to discard because they just don't have any basis in anything that's actually happening in the world. So we already know, based on these WikiLeaks, that they want a dumbed-down population. They don't want people who can think for themselves. They want a compliant citizenry. So they don't like the fact that you have the ability to access alternate information. Obama is pushing for a ministry of truthiness. And lo and behold, Google is right there doing his beck and call. And they've just announced today they've launched a fact check label. So this is a new feature, fact check. It'll be added a label next to any news stories and search results. They say it's going to shine a light on its efforts to divide fact from fiction. Sites which already have a fact-checking service can apply to be included to appear in search results. And so Google itself is going to determine whether a fact check is needed for a news story using the claim review technique. And it already labels stories with tabs such as opinion, related, and local source. So, I mean, just like Hillary Clinton says, oh, if you need to fact check anything on me, just go to my website and I'll lay it all out for you there. That's what this fact check tool is going to look like, because let's not forget, Google was already accused of manipulating search results in favor for Hillary Clinton. As we know, Google's chairman, Eric Schmidt, quietly funds a data company that provides services to the Clinton campaign. I mean, it just doesn't get any more clear than that. We also know by this WikiLeaks that it was actually John Podesta who linked up Google's executive chairman with the Hillary Clinton campaign. So just collusion at every level. We know, of course, the government gives major tax breaks to these companies. So it's, a little pay to play. You do us favors, we'll do you favors. You won't pay anything in taxes. while you screw over the American people. They're all helping each other. It literally is like the movie They Live. Every day I watch the news and I'm just like, man, put on the glasses. And even though Google Trends is showing that internet users are wide awake, and frankly, they're far more interested in the WikiLeaks data than these Trump allegations. You can look at the Google Trends graph. It shows internet users are vastly more interested. Even on the day that the infamous Trump tape was released, Google searches for the WikiLeaks were still significantly higher. And they're really upset about that because you're only going to find the information about the WikiLeaks in the wild, wild west of the internet. The mainstream media is refusing to cover the WikiLeaks, or they'll cover it just a tiny bit, just enough to say, well, there's no smoke here. There's nothing untoward. In fact, it kind of makes Hillary Clinton look like she's a sensible, just a good lady. And even with these latest Trump allegations, a former Miss Teen came out slamming the media witch hunt against Trump. She says he was an absolute gentleman. She went out to say, you know, they're contacting all of her fellow contestants from 1997. They want to do this hit piece. This was a producer at ABC News in New York. And she said, I'm going to be very truthful and let ABC know that Donald Trump was an absolute gentleman. I never witnessed any inappropriate behavior whatsoever the entire time I was there. So I'm sure that her story is not going to make the news because it doesn't fit the narrative. And anything that doesn't fit the narrative isn't going to make it. Even things, you know, they got to fact check with Hillary Clinton. We know that a new WikiLeaks email reveals yet even more collusion between the Clinton campaign and the New York Times. They're talking about their good relationships with Maggie Haberman of Politico, who also writes for the New York Times. But they talk about how she helps tee up stories that are beneficial for Hillary Clinton. They help her achieve her objectives. And then, of course, we have CNN on the other hand. CNN, we know they did a total media blackout on Bill Clinton's son, alleged son, Danny Williams, and their CNN anchor abruptly shut down a guest commentator Thursday. This was Utah Republican Party Chairman James Evans, and he said, you know, we're the party of family values. I'm looking forward to the interview you have with Bill Clinton's illegitimate son. And she immediately shuts him down. Come on, please, that's rubbish. He doesn't have an illegitimate son. You have no proof of that. Oh, and just totally shuts him down. And that is where the double standard comes in. Because here, they're just going to shut it down, no proof, conspiracy theory, but then roll out these Trump's accusers who go by Jane Doe and just came out of the woodwork making these allegations at a very convenient time against Donald Trump. Those, you know, we have to take those as fact. So it's total hypocrisy here. And we know Donald Trump is the real deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wednesday night is the biggest presidential debate in United States history, and we have full coverage for you at Infowars.com/show. We will have all our reporters on this desk, on another desk, behind the scenes, cutting up tape, analyzing what the two presidential nominees say. We will also have boots on the ground in Las Vegas, talking to people on the street, scoping the scenes, getting a feel for the atmosphere. We're going to have all of it for you on Infowars.com/show. So be sure when you're thinking about where to go for the presidential debate on Wednesday night, remember that we will have live coverage for you at Infowars.com/show. The best coverage covering all angles, real fact-checking, moment by moment with everyone from our talented team on the scene. And don't forget, of course, Alex Jones himself will be live, breaking down all the lies from Hillary, all the powerful comments from Trump, and everything in between, including the moderators. The best place for presidential coverage, the best place for debate coverage is Infowars.com/show. Be sure you're there on Wednesday night.
Knockout is back. If you want a product that has 10 known ingredients that naturally get your body to relax, your brain to relax, so you get deep, restful sleep, Knockout's it. InfoWarsLife.com. L-theanine, hops flower extract, lemon balm extract, valerian root extract, chamomile flower extract, L-tryptophan extract, melatonin, and more. All organic, all the natural sources. It's the same price as leading brands of melatonin that are 3 milligrams a piece. It has 3 milligrams, the standard recommended dose for an adult. It's got the GABA, So it would probably cost $50 to take all this as separate pills. It's $19.95. You take one or two of these, and it just is really clean, restful sleep is what the reviews are. It's what I've experienced. And it just synergistically puts everything in there.
InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Or call 888-253-3139.